Hello, one and all. This is Mike Tendo 64's Gaming Chat Lite. Today, I am your host, Jack Longman, and I am joined by the one and only Mike Scorpio.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Mike. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo.
We are indeed, yes.
So,
So,
Mike, I'll you as the guest, you get to have the fun of answering the questions today. What is the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo?
apparently, according to Nintendo, it is a special motion sensor clock that can monitor your sleep patterns and your movements in bed. So it can, make sounds to, wake you up gently. And then as you move around in bed, it makes sounds like, so for example, if you have the Mario theme on, then it has coins until you eventually get out of bed and there'll be fanfare and then it'll stop. But
Fair
for
enough.
the official spiel from Nintendo, it says make waking up fun with Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo available soon. Mind you, by the time of this video coming out, it is already available in places such as Nintendo Store New York, on the My Nintendo Store, and is available exclusive for Nintendo Switch Online members. So it says that the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo features motion sensor technology that responds to your movements, allowing you to snooze your alarm with motion alone and stop it by getting out of bed. Tailor your routine and make up waking up fun rather by picking from 35 scenes inspired from 5 Nintendo titles. This includes Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, Pikmin 4, and what is probably the most random of them all, Ring Fit Adventure. Then
Hey, there's nothing
Saturday,
wrong with Ring Fit Adventure, all right?
I
Nintendo have
didn't.
literally promoted that at every opportunity. I love it. It's going strong. Question is, will there be a Ring Fit Adventure 2? But that is not a question for today. The big question is the price tag of Alarmo. For this device that can wake you up in the middle of wake you up when you get up, play games and all that fun jazz, it has a $100 price tag for those in the US.
It
Ouch.
does. It does indeed.
See, what I consider to be the most interesting thing about the Alamo is the fact that not only was it a case of Nintendo just announced it out of nowhere, they've released it out of nowhere. But the fact that, during this day and age where we have so many leaks and all these leaks about a Switch 2, Nintendo Switch successor, no one leaked this. Not a single person at any point in this year turned around and said, hey, guess what? Nintendo's working on an alarm clock.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I mean, because you imagine next minute we're going to get like the Nintendo Switch Alarmo, but it's a wristwatch, and you're wearing it on your hand with "Jump Up Superstar" or Zelda going, "Link, open your eyes."
I mean, let's face it. I mean, it's an interesting concept. As a concept, I think this is cool. This is great, and especially, I mean, a lot of the people that you see in the trailer, it seems they are single people, or it's directed for like youngsters, so for like kids' bedrooms and things like that. I see it more as a real gimmick kind of thing. It's cool for that, and apparently there is problems with it if there are more than one person in the bed, because it will read the movements of whoever's in the bed. Do you know what I mean? So even if you're trying to sleep and your partner's got to wake up to go to the loo, uh, it can be a bit complicated in that matter. However, I suppose the biggest problem that we have with Alarmo is that it is like $100 or £90 or €100, depending on your region. You think that is a lot of money for an alarm clock. I mean, in principle, on paper, it sounds like a really, really cool idea until, like you said, you get to the price tag and you think, wow, that is expensive. And yeah, they can add, new features or themes to it as well, which they're going to get to eventually in the video. As you can see, it has a little Wi-Fi icon, and that's so that you can update it. Like you said, there's been an update. for it already. You think, but it's only
Version
just
2.0, yeah.
yeah. So it's weird that it's already got an update for something that nobody even knew existed.
I
But it
mean,
came,
well, day one
and
day one updates are expected because obviously when we've seen like the Nintendo Switch games, a lot of the time the first update that we get on day one is for like online functionality and things like that. So the occasional update is expected, but the fact it's like a full blown version 2 update is quite strong. But yeah, since we have said it's quite expensive, how about for a minute or two, we defer to the Ask the Developer interview that was conducted lately, where during the interview we got to hear from Yusuke Tamori, who is the producer for Alarmo, and we also have Tetsuya Akami, who is the director. During this four-part interview series that was released, both producer and director spoke heavily about their involvement with the creation of this device and how it started in the first place. So originally, it was just an experiment and research into the sensor system, and it even they did not know they were originally working on an alarm. That's a case of what's happened while they were trial and error.
yeah,
But no,
yeah.
it's interesting. I mean, the fact that it will tell you how long after the alarm went off that you then got out of bed is interesting. Oh, the alarm went off at such and such o'clock, but you stayed in bed and rolled over for like 1 hour afterwards. What are you, my mum?
Well, that's just it, isn't it? It's like, do I need an alarmo when I've already got a mother that will just wake me up out of bed anyway? You know what I mean? It just does seem like a really, really random thing, to be fair. And I mean, this is the problem I have with Alarmo is that how do I put it? How do I put it? Right. You can pretty much do a lot of the things, except for obviously the motion thing, right? The motion control, the sensor. You can set alarms on your phone or even your smartwatch or smart device or anything, right? You can download video game music, not just Nintendo, but any kind of video game music. Obviously, in some places it's not exactly, welcomed or frowned upon, so to speak. But you think, but for example, I like to wake up with the menu music from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So
Rightly
I
so.
have
It's a
that
good point.
playing. Yeah, so I have that playing. So then it gradually, gets louder and louder as it starts. And it's just a nice way for me to wake up in the morning. So, I get the appeal of waking up with, your favorite video game music. But are you going to spend £100 on the privilege for something that will just do that? Or do you spend like an extra 20 quid or 30 quid, right, on top of that? So you like 120, 130, and just buy a phone that can do all that and make phone calls at the same time. I think what Nintendo probably could have done is actually released a mobile device.
Or just an application. You put the
Yeah,
app on your phone, like for example, Pokemon Sleep. Yes, they had a device that you could use for tracking your sleep, but we're not talking about that device, which was like 50 quid. We're talking about the app itself. When you've gone into sleep mode and you've got your Pokemon Sleep, you can set an alarms in it. So there's no reason why they couldn't just create the app that would do this. So you can set the alarm and then it'll go off in the morning, playing the tunes off your preferred game. But yeah.
well, you say an app. They've already developed the software. It's what is inside the Alarmo itself. So, you know, all you're doing is just then integrating it with like your smart device, like your smartphone. So it works with, the internal clock and the calendar, and then it has all like the music and everything integrated into it as well. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting concept, but I see this being picked up more by real aficionados or collectors more than anything for like practicality use.
So are you saying if you had the £90 spare to buy one right here, right now, your answer is a Nintendo no?
Nintendo. I mean, it would be a Nintendo I'd like to, but no. But Yeah, I mean, obviously, things can be quite tough for people, and unless you really do have £90 to, burn, or to spend rather, it makes it a tough sell, and especially when, like for example, Super Mario Party Jamboree is just around the corner as we're recording this episode. We got Mario and Luigi Brothership just round the corner as well from that. We've
And is
just
it
had
a case of
Legend
you
of
buy those two
Zelda
games
Echoes
and
of
buy Alarmo?
Wisdom. Well, that's it. If you've just bought those two games, a little bit more, but you'll probably still get more use out of those two games than you will out of Alarmo. I don't know.
So
I don't
for you, it
know.
is a case of even Emperor Palpatine cannot convince you to Nintendo do it.
Intend to it. It's tempting, but I mean, if Nintendo would like to send me a Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo, I'm more than happy to receive it. But I don't think I can personally go out of my way, especially with this current economy at the moment, and buy an Alarmo. Sorry, Nintendo. I love you to bits, and I'm a die-hard Nintendo fan, but there does come a point where you have to say, I'm going to have to pass on this one. And then kick myself afterwards, but I'm going to have to pass.
So it's a case of gonna have to put a pin on it, hit the snooze button, and wait for see what happens to it down the line. What other games get added to it in terms of support? So maybe if they had like a little game that you could play like Super Mario Brothers One on it, like in some capacity, right? That would make it more
Funnily enough,
worthwhile. Make it like a mini
finally,
Game and Watch.
well, yeah, funny enough, you said that. They already have released two Game & Watch, haven't they? They released the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. And then they released the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. And they both have like a number of games on them, right? And they have an alarm, and they can work as a clock. And they are half the price of an Alarmo.
Indeed.
So, and I own both of them. So, yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts? Would you?
Uh, I mean, genuinely, I don't really do with alarm clocks anyway. I had that situation where it's a case of I hear a noise in the night and that's it. I'm awake for the rest of the night because I don't have the luxury of sleep. But I mean, it's a cool idea and all, but the price tag is the big no for me. It's
I mean, look, if it was set at
it's
like
one
30
it's
quid,
one thing when you're justifying spending £70 for Tears of the Kingdom because at least
yeah.
you've played Breath of the Wild. It's a big game. You're gonna get a lot out of it, right? And same with like any RPG, with your Xenoblades and your Pokemon, so it's like, the graphics might not always be there, the performance is definitely not always there, but you're gonna get enjoyment out of it. Am I really gonna get that much enjoyment out of an alarm clock in its current
Especially,
status?
I mean, this is the problem that alarm clocks have. Yeah, they wake you up, they get you out of bed. But if you're having the most amazing dream and then your alarm clock goes off, you don't think, oh, thank you, alarm clock, for waking me up, do you? You think, God damn it, that was an amazing dream and you just woke me up from it. So,
I mean, it's like on the days when I'm waking up to go to work at like 5 in the morning. Yes, as tempted as it would be to listen to Jump Up Superstar, it's not like I've got the time to then enjoy it. It's a case of no, I need to wake up, get going, get moving. My day starts ASAP there and then. So it would be nice, but for practicality right now and my lifestyle, it's definitely a no.
yeah, unfortunately. I mean, if it was more of a special like Nintendo radio with an alarm clock on it, so it has all your favorite tunes that you can listen to at any time, that would probably have been a much easier sell. But as it is, I guess we'll just have to see more. We'll just have to see more from it.
Mm.
So I think that'll probably do us for this episode.
I think so as well, but I just want to put a controversial opinion in.
Go on.
I'd sooner buy another Nintendo Labo pack and spend all that time making up the kits and then play through it than I would buy an Alarmo. Labo over Alarmo any day of the week.
I think I'd have to agree with you there. Although the longevity of Labo is another thing to talk about. But that is not for this episode, I'm afraid.
No, you are quite right. And so, as my guest, I will let you have a closing statement before I steal the show.
Okay, well, this has been Gaming Chat Lite, and Jack and I have been speaking and talking at length about the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo. It's a great idea on paper, and I do like the principle behind it, but that cost, that price behind it is just, I can't justify it. I mean, if, like I said, if it was like 30 quid or something, that's still a bit on the pricey side, but it's doable, and a lot more people will pick it up, I would have thought. But at £90 to $100, it's a hard sell, Nintendo, and I'm still not quite convinced.
And on that bombshell, this has been Gaming Chat Lite. I've been your host, Jack. Mike's been your guest host, Mike. And we are going to end it there. But please like, share, and subscribe if you like today's content. And be prepared for a lot more coming because we got a lot of good stuff on the way. You don't want to miss it. Until next time, keep on gaming.